Welcome back to PlayStation Corner, my name is Alex, and today we're taking a look at my favourite deals across the PSN stores, covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia, and it is a massive week of deals, some real AAAs on offer right now, so hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals weekly, and let's get started. As always then, I do have a winner to announce for a $10 PSN gift card later in the video and one more to give away. Now all you need to do to enter, drop a comment down below and the winner will actually be announced in the next deals video later in the week. Before we do get started then, a shout out to Opera GX for sponsoring today's video. It's a browser for gamers. I'm a big fan myself, I've actually been using it now for around 6 months. It's customizable though, light mode, dark mode, colour schemes as well, and then the homepage here, GX Corner, I love it because it's dedicated to deals for all platforms which you can filter, and then you'll also find everything from free games to heavy discounts to new trailers and daily gaming news. Alongside that though as well, just great for socials rather than tabs or standalone apps, you can access them via the left menu. For me that's going to be Discord, Twitter and Twitch, but expect integrations here for Messenger, WhatsApp and even a few others. It even has a music player too. I use Spotify, but you'll find support here for YouTube Music as well as Apple Music too. If you want this portable as well, then check out GX Mobile from the iOS or Android store. That is just though a smaller taste of Opera GX's power, and yeah, check out all the features and download it at the link in the pinned comment down below. Chorus to kick us off then, and this it is a sci-fi adventure that I reviewed here on the channel. Think space-based warfare and you get the idea, but where it really kind of excelled, well surprisingly for me at least, was the story. Now the reason I say that is you never leave your ship, so you'd think it may struggle, but there's constant dialogue and meetings here in space that kind of propel that story forwards. The gameplay then, it's going to constantly evolve. Your ship, it changes, there's add-ons that can be applied, and as you progress, so will your abilities. Think the ability here to drift in space. That's a tough mechanic to learn as well, you know how to handle it. A new low though here, 25% off, it's well worth it, and my review that is linked in the pinned comment down below. Death's Door then was a masterpiece of 2021, it won the Best Action Adventure at the Game Awards 2021 and rightfully so. It's an isometric, almost styled adventure where you play as a crow whose day job is to collect up souls. You exist though between two worlds, let's say the real world, that one's colour, and then the crow's home, a black and white location. On a routine, let's say soul collection run though, that's the day job, someone steals it and you must now hunt them down because in the real world you age but you cannot return without the soul. Expect here though to solve environmental puzzles, overcome enemies and boss moments and generally admire the incredible visual design. It's a new low price then, 25% off. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, they are back on sale then. 2 editions as always. We've got the base PS4 release, it's slightly cheaper, and then the cross-gen bundle, that's around an extra $5. I'm not a huge fan of this kind of pay-to-upgrade system it's going for this year, but it looks fantastic honestly, and you can even get performance mode on the PS5 that will dial things up to 120 frames per second, which is just incredible for this one. This remake though is how you do it right. It still feels like the original games, but the maps have been completely remade. The control scheme is as intuitive as ever, and that roster, it's been refreshed, so some fan favourites they are missing, but it keeps, I'd call it like the majority intact. That same statement as well goes for the soundtrack, a soundtrack that defined a youth for many of us. This matches the low price then, 50% off. Guilty Gear Strive then also returns matching the low price, and I reviewed this one here on the channel, find that linked in the pinned comment down below. As fighters go though, this is my favourite of recent memory. It comes from Arc System Works and it packs a great roster of fighters and an incredibly in-depth combo system that's like easy to pick up but of course difficult to master. A nice little selection of modes, so here a roster that's expandable with DLC if that is your thing, or even just pick up the Deluxe or Ultimate Edition, just expect to pay quite a bit more cash. Then visually it's stunning, they've absolutely went above and beyond with what they've ever done with their kind of think cel-shaded style. It feels truly next gen as well when playing on the PS5, and this it's currently 35% off. Kena Bridge of Spirits then won the Best Indie of 2021 at the Game Awards. This wasn't my personal choice for that category, but it definitely would have been up there, and it's another one I reviewed here on the channel. Find that linked in the pinned comment down below. Think here though, third person, you're going into this, forest almost area, you're investigating these different spirits, you're trying to understand what happened to this location, but it's a beautiful looking game, and it definitely controls Nia, I guess perfectly. The combat is just so fun with this one. I will say though, just know, it is actually a surprisingly challenging game, so do not think because of the cartoonish like visuals, it's gonna take it easy on you. It's matching the low again though here, Kena Bridge of Spirits with 30% off. Guardians of the Galaxy then was a surprise hit for me in 2021. I just thought this would be, the usual cash in on a name, and that was not the case. It was this fantastic use of the license and a fun action adventure. You lead the Guardians though controlling Star-Lord, but you can command others, and that's in battle and to solve basic environmental puzzles as well. It's like a quick access wheel using the D-pad. While the movie cast were not used for voice acting or likeness either, I thought they did a great job here with the characters. They feel in keeping with what many will now kind of know from them, and it was clearly a skilled team behind it. Combining then combat, exploration, dialogue heavy moments, I was impressed. It looked stunning as well with the next gen upgrade, and yeah, it comes highly recommended. Here it is with a new low 40% off. Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time then is another one that I didn't have huge hopes for. I've always loved the series, but I try not to get my hopes up with these returns because a lot of the times they miss. That wasn't the case here. They knew exactly what made Crash Crash, and they embraced it. From almost side-scrolling to the traditional 3D moments, they got it all in here, and then they expanded upon it. New playable characters, new skills, and I appreciate the fact Crash has never been the easiest of games, and they balance that fine line between accessibility but still packing the challenge. Looks great as well, a fun story where we see returning foes, and then it's matching the low 50% off. While I'm on platformers, PS5 exclusive Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, it returns with 29% off, that matches the low price, and I think it's going to be a while now before we see a sizable discount on this one. With the increased PS5 retail for games, this discount, it barely gets it below what I would call the standard $60. That all said though, if you own a PS5, this is a must play. The game is incredible. It's also going to be a demo disc for next gen. The transitions often between cutscene and gameplay incredible. There was a few moments where I didn't even realise I was in control yet, it was that smooth. The story won't change your life then, but transitioning through portals to different locations, it never failed to impress. You never know what to expect, like the weapons, their quality, but like one of them, my favourite, it was the pixel gun. You guessed it, it pixelates your enemies and, well, I guess destroys them. Our penultimate game of the video then, F1 2021, and I think it's fair to say I talk about this one maybe a little bit too much on the channel, but it drops a new low price again. This is kind of crazy at this point, but we're now at 67% off, and I adore this game. I've always loved the F1 entries, and sure, it's the usual, yearly upgrade, but I think it did enough building on modes and continuing to fine-tune that kind of handling that most will be impressed. Most surprisingly though, it adds a story mode that, sure, it's cheesy, but I ended up really enjoying it. It's just kind of fun. It adds a little character behind the races. The best thing about this story for many though, it acts as an extended tutorial, so if you're new to this world, it's this great place to start that helps with setting up assists and then figuring out kind of the basics when it comes to rules. On the PS5 it looks stunning, and you can check out my full review in the pinned comment down below. That remains one of the most popular videos on the channel. Codemasters then also have Grid Legends coming out soon, which I'm so excited to see. Our winner of the week then is going to Narita, who picked up Dying Light. Hopefully you can wrap that one up and then jump into the sequel. Been playing that one all week and I'm having a great time with it. Congrats to Narita, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance to win in next week's video. The final game of the video then, Hades' complete masterpiece. It finally made its way to PlayStation, and for anyone that's still unsure, if this should be in your collection, it's genius, just buy it. A roguelike dungeon crawler, isometric in style, it gives you this steady list of upgrades and weapons to experiment with, and even excels in the story department. You are looking to escape hell, and between you and that exit, of course, tons of enemies, boss moments, and Hades himself. Many out there though have easily sunk 100 hours into this one. It has a huge amount of replayability, and this is about as good as performance gets for this particular release. The only issue, you will see a few frame rate stutters as you transition room to room when it's actually loading in. That will never impact the experience though, or the gameplay or the combat. A new low though, 25% off, and everyone should experience this one at least once. And that is another week down. Will you be adding anything to the library this week, or are you holding onto that cash? With that then, hit subscribe, join us here on PlayStation Corner for reviews and deals weekly, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.